darts is a sport of millimeters. The difference between a treble 20 and a miss can be less than a centimeter. That margin is what makes professionals so hard to beat. It is also what makes certain moments completely impossible to explain. These are the 1 in a million moments in darts. A Robin Hood is one of the most recognized oddities in darts. It happens when a dart follows the same line as the one before it and buries itself into the back of it instead of reaching the board. Same angle, same path, the wrong outcome. For professionals, it usually means a lost score and broken equipment. Very rarely, it becomes something more memorable than any normal visit could. John Bowles was a pub qualifier at the 2011 UK Open, not one of the tournament favourites, just a player who had earned his place through the qualifying rounds. Then, live on television, he threw a Robin Hood, and then another one in the same visit, and then another. 3 darts sticking into darts already on the board, in one turn. You do not need to understand dart strategy to watch that clip and know something has gone completely wrong in the best possible way. One Robin Hood can be explained by bad luck, and a similar throwing line, 3 in a row, has no explanation at all. One thing before we go on, there is far more to this than fits in a single video. The feuds, the bans, the walk on money, the stuff that never made the broadcast, so I put it all in a book. The Dark Side of Darts, the full story of the sport nobody tells on camera. It's at the link below for anyone who wants the whole of it. I won't bring it up again. If you want it, you know where to find it. Now back to it. Rob Collins also produced a triple Robin Hood, but his came with a detail that makes it even harder to process. At the Modus Super Series against Adam Lipscomb, Collins threw his first dart cleanly into the treble 20. Normal start. The second dart followed the same line and stuck into the back of the first, a Robin Hood. Then the third dart came in and stuck into the second. 3 darts, connected, hanging from the treble 20 like a chain, a triple Robin Hood. But here is the part that makes it even better. Because 2 of the 3 darts never made it to the board, the visit only counted as 60. 1 scoring dart, 2 darts doing something extraordinary but completely useless on the score sheet. In almost any other sport, that kind of precision in the same spot 3 times would be rewarded. In darts, Collins was so consistent with his line that 2 of his darts never even got the chance to score. The most accurate visit of his career, and one of the least productive. A 180 is the cleanest visit in darts. 3 darts, treble 20, maximum score. Gary Anderson nearly had one that counted for nothing. It happened in the 2015 World Championship final against Phil Taylor, the biggest match Anderson had played to that point. His first 2 darts landed perfectly in the treble 20. The third followed, but instead of completing the maximum, it knocked the other 2 darts clean out of the board. All 3 on the floor. 0 points. That is how the rules work in darts. The dart has to stay in the board until the score is confirmed. It does not matter where it landed. It does not matter what everyone in the building saw. If it hits the floor, those points are gone. The board was replaced at the end of the set because the situation was so unusual. But the remarkable part is what Anderson did next. A moment like that, in a world final against Phil Taylor, could derail a player for the rest of the match. Anderson won 7-6 and became world champion. Now here is almost the exact opposite. Anderson had a 180 taken away by the darts already in the board. Thomas Junghans had one handed back to him by them. At the Modus Super Series, Junghans had his first 2 darts sitting in the treble 20. The third came in and did not appear to land cleanly in the bed. Normally, that would cost him the maximum, but the position and force of the first 2 darts appeared to push the third dart into the treble 20. The referee called 180. This is not something a player can practice or aim for. There is no technique for using your own darts to drag a third one into the right segment. One moment, the 180 looked gone. The next moment, it was confirmed. Anderson's 180 became 0 because the darts were already there. Junghans' 180 was completed because the darts were already there. A 170 checkout is the highest possible finish in darts. Treble 20, bullseye, the big fish. Danny Noppert's version at the Poland Darts Masters needed a referee inspection before anyone could confirm it had counted. His first 2 darts went cleanly into the treble 20, the third came in for the bull, but it did not look like it had landed normally. It appeared to be wedged between the darts already in the board rather than sitting in the bull itself. For a moment, nobody was completely sure what had happened. Had the tip touched the bull? Was it being held up by the other darts? Did the score count? Referee Russ Bray stepped forward. The crowd waited. The tip had made contact with the board. 170 confirmed. A standard big fish is impressive, but everyone understands it immediately. This one needed a close-up, a pause, and a referee's decision before the crowd could properly react. There are sensible ways to finish 150. Simon Whitlock ignored all of them. At the 2022 Dutch Darts Championship against Daniel Larsson, Whitlock needed 150 to win the match. Plenty of clean routes available, standard combinations that professionals use without thinking. Instead, he aimed at the bullseye. First dart, bull. Second dart, bull. Now the crowd knows exactly what he is trying. One more bullseye, and the match is over with the most outrageous route possible. Third dart, bull. 3 bullseyes, match won. He looked at 150 remaining, decided the sensible finish was not interesting enough, and aimed for the smallest central target on the board 3 times in a row. A triple bull finish feels like something you see once and never again. Romeo Grbavac did not get that memo. At the Modus Super Series, Grbavac lined up 150 and took the same route Whitlock had taken. 3 darts at the bull, 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 bull. The crowd reaction is everything, because any darts fan who has already seen the Whitlock clip knows how rare this is, and now they are watching it again. Whitlock's finish was audacious. Grbavac's finish was confirmation. 1 triple bull checkout could be a moment of madness that happened to work. 2 of them mean certain players look at 150 remaining, calculate the percentages, and decide to ignore them entirely. The bullseye is one of the smallest targets on the board. Missing the first dart can collapse the whole finish. Neither of them missed. In darts, a bounce out is almost always bad news. The dart hits the wire, drops to the floor, and the score is gone. It does not matter how well the visit was going before that moment. Devon Petersen found a rare exception. He was going for a checkout and hit the wrong double. Under normal circumstances, that is a serious problem. Depending on the score, it can bust the leg entirely. But the dart bounced out before the referee called it. Because it did not stay in the board, it did not count. Petersen still had a dart in his hand. The mistake had not been registered. The same rule that usually ends visits early had just given him another chance. He took it. Checkout complete. Most of the time, that rule punishes players. This time, it saved one from his own mistake. Everything on this list so far has been unusual. This one is different. At the UK Open, Martin Schindler was warming up during an interval in his match against Johnny Clayton. Standard routine between legs, a few practice throws while the break runs. One of his darts hit the board at the wrong angle, bounced back off the wire at speed, and flew straight into his shoe. Schindler had to reach down and pull it out. Clayton was laughing on stage. Schindler signaled to the crowd that he was fine. The match continued. Some mistakes in darts happened during the throw. This one happened before the match had even started. Rob Cross walked onto the stage for a televised match against Peter Wright and realized he had forgotten his darts. For a professional, that is almost impossible to imagine. These are not random pieces of equipment. A player's darts are built around weight, grip, balance, and years of routine. They are the one thing that has to feel exactly right in the hand. Cross had done the walk-on, the crowd was ready, Wright was on stage, and Cross had no darts. Peter Wright immediately saw the funny side and even offered him a set of his own to warm up with. Eventually, Cross's darts were brought out and the match continued. The best part is that Cross still won. A world champion walking onto the stage without the one thing he needs to. Play. Forgetting your darts is one thing. Having one break in the middle of a world championship match is another. Kai Gotthardt was making his world championship debut against Alan Soutar when something happened that almost never happens at this level. His dart barrel snapped. That is supposed to be the strongest part of the whole setup. Flights get damaged all the time, shafts break, points can loosen, but the barrel itself breaking during a match is extremely rare, and it did not happen in practice. It happened on the Alexandra Palace stage during the biggest match of his life. Gotthardt had to leave the stage, go backstage, and get a replacement dart. That is already strange enough. A world championship match being paused because a player's dart physically breaks is not something you expect to see, but the important part is what happened after. He came back, stayed composed, and won the match. Not every 1 in a million moment is brilliant. Sometimes it is rare because everything goes wrong. At the Austrian Darts Open, Cullen and Thibault Tricole produced one of the strangest professional legs you will ever see. The leg started normally enough. Cullen had control and left 149 after 12 darts. From there, you would expect a professional leg to end fairly quickly. But then the doubles disappeared. Miss after miss, chance after chance. Both players got dragged deeper into the leg, and eventually they were stuck around double one. That is when the crowd started to realize this had become something different. Not a great leg, not a perfect leg. A leg that was becoming memorable for the wrong reasons. Eventually, Cullen won it after 40 darts. And the reaction told the story. Cullen spread his arms like he had just done something heroic, but everyone knew why it was funny. A 10-dart leg is rare because it is brilliant. A 40-dart leg between professionals is rare because it should not happen, and somehow that makes it just as unforgettable. Some near misses stay with you longer than the moments that actually happened. Van Gerwen was chasing something that had never been done. Back-to-back 9-darters. The first leg is perfect. The second begins. He keeps going. Every dart landing exactly where it needs to be. The arena gets quieter with each visit as the crowd pieces together what they might be watching. 17 perfect darts. Van Gerwen steps up for the 18th. Double 12. A finish he has hit thousands of times. He misses. That miss is why the clip still gets watched today. Not because it was a failure, because 17 perfect darts in a row is a number that barely makes sense. Most professionals never complete one 9-darter in a career. Van Gerwen threw the equivalent of nearly 2 in a row, 1 dart away from something the sport may never see. Instead, it became the most famous almost in darts history, a record that has not been touched since. Bo Greaves hit her 9-darter at Players' Championship 6 in Leicester on the 25th of February 2026. The context matters. This was not an exhibition, not a women's only event. It was a PDC Pro Tour ranking tournament, and her opponent was Mensur Suljovic, a player who has competed at the highest level of the sport for years. The perfect leg came in the third leg of the match. Back-to-back 180s left her 141 after 6 darts. Treble 20, treble 19, double 12, 9 darts, done. Greaves became the first woman ever to hit a 9-darter on the PDC Pro Tour. Suljovic bowed and applauded her. When the player whose match you have just disrupted with a perfect leg stops to show respect, the moment has already gone beyond the sport. The match went to a deciding leg. Greaves won 6-5. That is what darts does. The board never changes. The distance never changes. The targets are always in exactly the same place. But somehow, this simple game keeps producing moments that feel completely impossible. Robin Hoods that have no explanation. Checkouts that needed a referee to confirm them. A record of 17 perfect darts that nobody has come close to since. If you want to see more of them, subscribe and hit the bell. Every new video goes straight to your feed, and drop a comment below. Which moment on this list did you not see coming? We read every single one.